back over to Adam. Or Toby, maybe Toby.
Yeah.
Chair of the resolution.
Yes. So I'll take the lead, but I make sure you guide me through the things. Miigwech, Vera, move it, she says. I better get things moving here. So welcome back to those joining online and as well those chiefs that are joining virtually. So we are going to deal with resolutions. And we've sort of adjusted resolutions, so bear with us as we follow the order of the resolutions. So the first resolution, my understanding, is titled Researching the Return of Taxation Revenue to First Nations. It's resolution number 2505A. If I can have that up on the screen, please. Again, 2505A. And I just need to clarify. The mover and the seconder are here, yes. Mover and seconder, just in terms of the title, I need some clarification. There were two versions. So the subject is researching the return of taxation revenue to First Nations. That's
Yes,
correct?
that's
There's
it.
no reference to business? Okay, very good, thank you.
Thank you.
So the mover is Chief Sherry Lynn Hill, who's at the microphone. A seconder, Chief R. Don Maracle, who is present. So I will get right into the resolution. At the bottom of the last page, it reads, therefore be it resolved that we, the Chiefs in Assembly, one, direct the Chiefs Committee on Economic Development, CCOED, with support from the Chiefs of Ontario Economic Development Sector, to conduct research on taxation paid by First Nations to external governments. This may include the following: inquiries to PTOs, independent First Nations, and unaffiliated First Nations. Does your First Nation pay federal or provincial taxes? If so, what type, i.e. fuel, alcohol, cannabis, tobacco? Can your First Nation estimate how much taxes are remitted to Canada or Ontario? And number two, require the CCOED to report on progress on this matter to the Chiefs in Assembly. Mover and seconder, microphone number, I think it's 3.
Yep. Chief Sherry Lynn Hill from Six Nations of the Grand River. Oh. I'm moving this resolution to reaffirm a long-standing principle that any form of taxation is a violation of our inherent rights. Yet, First Nations businesses on reserve continue to see revenue siphoned away through federal, provincial, and municipal taxes without reinvestment back into our communities. Our council began discussion nearly 30 years ago with the Ministry of Natural Revenue to develop an avenue for the return of excise taxes to our community. Our position has not changed. Before the recent change of federal government, Six Nations did some internal work to estimate amounts paid from on-reserve businesses to external governments, since we knew our membership of nearly 30,000 and over 30 independent businesses pay substantial taxes. We met with some Six Nations businesses who pay extensively to external government through fuel, excise, and tobacco taxes. These businesses would like to see their taxes contributions directly benefit our community. Let me give you a glimpse into how large the tax revenue from Six Nations businesses is. Our on-reserve gas stations are estimated to pay nearly $300 million in taxes from now until 2031. On Six Nations business, one Six Nations business owner shared that they paid over $2 million a year in taxes. The Six Nations Natural Gas Company has remitted nearly $5.7 million in federal carbon taxes. Many First Nations businesses have paid tobacco taxes for decades. Could you imagine the amount of excise taxes that an on-reserve manufacturer that operates in 52 countries across 5 continents pays in taxes? Taxation in Canada tends to be tied to land base. Therefore, Six Nations has also contributed extensively to tax revenues through the loss of 900,000 acres of land granted to us through the Haldeman Proclamation, which now benefits external governments. No pathway for that revenue to return to our community. There is a clear example of revenue being extracted from on-reserve businesses. Let's continue to be leaders and uphold our tax exemption. This is why I'm moving this resolution to ask the Chiefs of Ontario Economic Development Sector with continuing this work and expand research on the amount of excise tax paid by First Nations in this region. Yeah, thank you.
Now, Miigwech, Chief Hill, Chief Miracle, microphone 4.
I totally agree with the resolution. You know, this has been going on for years and years and years, where this taxes is that from these businesses are going to the both governments, the provincial and federal government. Just one company pays 310 million a year. They've given Canada $2 billion in total so far, and nowhere near that amount gets transferred back to the community in grants and contributions. So really, our communities are being bled to keep the rest of the country. So we need to resolve that. And I do agree it's an infringement on our rights that were understood by our ancestors when they welcomed Europeans to these shores. Thank you.
Miigwech. Any comments, discussion, questions? I'll make one more call though, online, nothing. So a question's been called. Thank you. Resolution before you, all in favor? Miigwech. Any opposition? I see none. Abstentions? Oh, nothing online either. So resolution carried by consensus. Thank you. So you have to bear with us. We've been shuffling the order. I believe the next one is 2506A, support for the 2030 Commonwealth Games bid. We'll have that up on the screen and we'll get into that resolution. So that resolution is moved by Chief Moore Frappier, who is here, seconded by Proxy Vanessa Adams. Is Proxy Vanessa Adams?
No.
No?
No, it's Greg Nadjuan. Greg Nadjuan.
Okay, Greg Nadjuan is here. Thank you. So just correction on the online version. We'll just get that up on the screen. Make sure we have the correct seconder. Oh, he is up there. Was there any changes from the online version to the one I have? I can read this one. Okay, I got the thumbs up. So I'm going to go to, oh, this is a short one. Easy. Last page. Therefore be it resolved that we, the Chiefs in Assembly, 1, express support for and participation in the development of a bid for the 2030 Commonwealth Games. Mover, Chief Moore Frappier.
Which, so I think that this is, I'm Chief Moore Frappier, Tamagami First Nation. This is just not just a sports proposal. It's a strong vision for First Nations leadership, reconciliation and nation building on an international stage. I also want to take this opportunity to recognize the tireless efforts and her leadership of Ava Hill and bringing this forward. So I think that this is a great opportunity for us to move to take this leadership position in it. So miigwech.
Miigwech. Seconder. You're okay? Okay. Any comments? Chief Carr, microphone 3.
Can I just ask again a friendly amendment of changing Indigenous to First Nations? Thank you.
Miigwech, mover, you're okay with that? Wherever there's a reference to Indigenous, change to First Nation, seconder? Are you okay with that? I know sometimes it depends on the context and where it is. So if we can just have a look at that.
I think it's where appropriate because some are titles, right? So
Yep.
where appropriate.
So in the whereas, paragraph 4, local First Nations communities are engaged. Paragraph 5, reconciliation and partnership with Indigenous peoples. Same paragraph. Says number 6 states for sport events, including international sporting events, ensure Indigenous peoples are equal partners in the bidding, planning, and delivery. I think looks like the recommendation probably on that one is to leave it the way it is. Chief Carr. Again, there's specific references when we're dealing with First Nations. Sometimes it's the context. So again, under number 5, recognize, celebrate, and respect Indigenous peoples' territory and protocols. Would you want First Nations in there? So that's a direct quote. We can't change that one. For example.
When I was looking at the resolution and when it talked about, so number 5, for instance, when you said, it says ensure first Indigenous peoples are equal partners. And when it, especially the second bullet point, when it comes to economic and environmental impacts, we all know that there are other peoples who are Métis, other peoples who are taking this step. So that's where I was, when it talks about economic impacts in those places, I think it's important to say it's for First Nations peoples.
Okay, Miigwech. So again, it's context and whether you're quoting or whether you're referring to a larger Indigenous group. And but it's not my place to make that call. I'm just making sure you're aware. Chief at microphone 2.
Chief McVicker and MKWajing. Can you just clarify who would be making the bid? Or is it just that we're encouraging the support of anyone wanting to make the bid?
I'll defer, Chief Shelley Moore Frappier. I will defer to Ava Hill.
Okay, Miigwech.
Thank you, Shelley. Just for your information, I am a member of the board of directors for Commonwealth Sport Canada. And there are Commonwealth Games next year in Glasgow, and then they are bidding on 2030. And Commonwealth Sport Canada wants to put a bid in, a multi-party, it's called United Canada bid, including events in multi-provinces. And we're just looking for support throughout the country. And I should say, by the way, we were looking for support from the federal government. We had an expression of interest from Ontario government, which they withdrew. So they no longer want to be a part of the bid. And there's also Newfoundland, Manitoba, and I think PEI and or New Brunswick. So the bid will be submitted by the Commonwealth Sport Canada on behalf of all of those groups. There's a multi-party working group, and Kevin Sandy from Six Nations sits on that. He was nominated by the World Indigenous Nations Traditional Games to be the member on the multi-party working group. So the bid will be submitted by Commonwealth Sport Canada. And our competition so far, as I know, is Nigeria and India. And the decision has to, the bid, we haven't got all the information yet. We're just looking for support wherever we can get it. across the country, and the bid has to be submitted by the end of August. And in November, we'll go to Glasgow for the final decision about who will be successful in getting the bid. And I just wanted to say, while I have the mic, you guys know me when I get to a mic, that attached to this is a declaration on, this is called the Commonwealth Games Wengen Declaration on Partnership and Reconciliation with Indigenous Peoples. And why that is being used, Chief Carr, is Indigenous Peoples is a international phrase that is used, and that's why it's included in there. And there's 10 calls to action. And one of the calls to action, and it's all related to Indigenous athletes and Indigenous youth. And that's one of the things I've been concentrating on, is helping our young people, giving them hope and inspiration to say that they're just as good as any other athletes in this country, and that they should be able to have the opportunity to try to get on these international, the teams, teams to go on international. There's also a huge Indigenous component in this, and with respect to lacrosse. If we are successful in getting the bid, we want to have lacrosse as one of the medal sports with an Indigenous team played on one of the First Nations territories. So we're all still working on that. And I'm on the hosting and bid committee. One of the calls to action in the declaration calls for the involvement of us First Nations people in every aspect of that bid, right from the time we start developing the bid, and it's all listed there. I won't go through it until the games are here. So it's an opportunity for us to showcase to the world how, our own people, but also to, as I said, give hope and inspiration to those kids. We see too many kids going down that wrong path because of the intergenerational trauma of residential schools and whatnot. And I'm looking at this opportunity, and I've been working on this declaration since 2016. And it was acclaimed by 75 countries in Singapore. I went down there in November 23 to the Commonwealth Games Annual Assembly. We went to Paris Olympics. I'm working with Wilton Littlechild on this. We presented it to the Commonwealth Sport Ministers meeting in Paris just before the opening of the Olympics. They endorsed it, and it was on the topic of agenda topic at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting that was held in Samoa. And we're continuing to push it, and we just had side events on it at the United Nations Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues that was held in New York a couple of years ago. So it's all for our children, our youth, our high performance athletes. I see too many of our kids not have that opportunity to move forward when they could have. And if we can get them on that right path, then we're going to be successful. Yawa.
Thank you. Thank you for all of that. It was a very good background. Would it help if you just put the name of the bidder there? Are you opposed to that? So there's some clarity there? Yeah. Okay, Bigwetch. Yeah.
So you want that added to the resolution to make it
Yeah,
clear?
if the mover and seconder agree. Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to make sure the resolutions team is clear with what's being asked, what it is that you're asking to be added. It's the name of the bidder. Is that correct? And where would you like that included?
Just express support for and participation in the development of a bid by Commonwealth Sport Canada for the 2030 Commonwealth Games. Is that
That's
right?
it.
Okay.
That's
Microphone 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. It's already there.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
there. Thank you. Okay, going back to the initial question of changing from Indigenous to First Nations, I think there were some changes. It depends on context. I need some help. Resolutions team, can you go back to the front? Whatever's in yellow, I'm just going to read it for the record. I think you've probably had a chance to make that change. We're making this other change first. I'll read it into the record. It'll be highlighted in yellow up on your screen. So the addition is under therefore be resolved. It would be the development of a bid by Commonwealth Sport Canada for the 2030 Commonwealth Games. So that's the addition. And mover was okay, seconder, you're okay? All right. Going back to the First Nations, the reference to First Nations, did we have any changes? I don't think there was. But I just want to clarify. If you did make any changes, if you can put it in yellow. I know it was recommended that we include Indigenous, especially if you're quoting, but there are certain references where the preference would be to say First Nations rather than Indigenous. But again, it's different at each reference. I'm not making that call, but I just looking to the resolutions team. And we'll note that change for the record. After that, is there any other comments or questions? If not, we'll wrap it up after that, that last change. And then I will call for question right after that. So we're just making that change. I know we thought we were close to quorum, but we're doing well so far. I'd like to commend everyone for your dedication and commitment to stick it out and get through these resolutions. A reminder, we do have the resolutions that were submitted on time before the deadline. There are also a number of late resolutions. I see Randall Phillips is getting me going here. I'm just waiting on the resolutions team. Let me know when you made all the changes, and I'll go back. We're still at it. There are a number of resolutions that were submitted late. So just to refresh your memory, the resolutions policy for late resolutions. It's not a clear no, because Chiefs, this is your assembly. If you bring forward a late resolution, knowing that you missed the deadline, you can still ask the assembly to consider your resolution, but there's a long process. You need a motion to amend the agenda to include your resolution. We read the resolution and then Chiefs vote whether or not to consider the resolution. If it's yes, and then we formally introduce the resolution. Normally we read it again, second time. That's a lengthy process to go through for each resolution. As far as I know, there might be 5 late resolutions. Okay, so we're good. Go back to the top, please. These are the references to Indigenous that were changed to First Nation. Under paragraph number 4, it's their local First Nations communities. Under paragraph number 5, there was, those were left there. Keep going. Paragraph number 9, it now reads First Nations will be included in every stage, including First Nations, providing opportunities to First Nations, employing First Nations, creating opportunities for First Nations youth, promoting First Nations arts, encouraging First Nations youth, First Nations coaches, and more First Nations athletes. Under paragraph 10, there is 4 changes. We now refer to inspiration to First Nations lacrosse, significance to First Nations, and empower First Nations youth, and a status report stage on a First Nation. That's paragraph 10. Is there anything else? I think that was it. There was a paragraph 4 that's been changed back to Indigenous because that is a direct quote if it's in italics, so we can't change that. All right, mover, seconder, you're okay with those? Chief Moore, Frappier, you're okay? Seconder, you're good? All right. Resolution as amended before you, all in favor, raise your hand. Thank you. Opposition? None. Abstentions? None. So resolution carried by consensus. Miigwech. So moving along, I want to make sure I have the right order. If we can have the next resolution put up. And I believe it is the 4th Jordan's Principle Resolution 2512. 2512A. That's the Jordan's Principle and February 2024 Operational Bulletin. 25A. We'll have that up on the screen. And I'm just going to look for it here as well. Did I miss one? Yeah, we were. Apologies, I need to clarify. We were advised that resolutions 2507 and 2508 were pulled for now, and there will be consideration for bringing them back. So apologies, I neglected to advise 2507 and 08 were pulled. So resolution before you is 2512A, moved by Chief Morfrappier, who's here. Seconder is Ugama Tim Amanika, who was here, may not be here. Okay, Chief Paywis will second the resolution. We're just making the change. And the resolution reads, therefore be it resolved that we, the Chiefs in Assembly, one, the Chiefs in Assembly reject the unilateral imposition of restrictive policies as outlined in the February 2025 Jordan's Principle Operational Bulletin. Number two, the Chiefs in Assembly oppose Indigenous Services Canada using other federal programs, such as the elementary and secondary program High Cost Special Education Proposal Needs-Based Funding to fund Jordan's Principle requests, as this program and others like it are already significantly underfunded. Number three, call on the Minister of Indigenous Services to meet directly with the Ontario First Nations leadership to discuss the implementation of this resolution and commit to an expedited path forward to addressing the hardships imposed on First Nations in Ontario as a direct result of the February 2025 Jordan's Principle Operational Bulletin. Number four, direct Chiefs of Ontario social, health, and education sectors with guidance from Chiefs of Ontario Leadership Council to represent Ontario First Nations leadership in any discussions. So that's the resolution. Mover, Chief Morfrappier, mic 4, please.
Chief Morfrappier, no, I'm calling myself. Chief Morfrappier, Shelley Morfrappier, Tamagami First Nation. It's been a long day. It's been a long week. Jordan's Principle, I don't think that there's too much to say about. This is a in a schmozzle, as my father would say. This is quite the schmozzle of Jordan's Principle, and we really do have to advocate and look at getting back some of the control of what is happening here, because ISK has certainly not done a fantastic job at that. So I have no problems in moving this resolution and fully support it. Miigwech.
Miigwech, seconder, Chief Paywis.
Good afternoon, Chief Paywis, Shawnee First Nation. I think the motion speaks for itself, and we need to clean it up. So I'm in support of the resolution, and hopefully we can get going.
Miigwech. I hear you, but we do have a chief at the microphone. Chief Hill.
Chief Sherry Lynn Hill from Six Nations. I'm in favor with the friendly amendments to number 1 and number 3. The Chiefs in Assembly then to add express concern over the unilateral imposition of restrictive policies as outlined in the February 2025 Jordan's Principle Operational Bulletin, and call for prior notification and consultation with First Nations before implementation, and request a delay in the rollout of the operational bulletin. Number 3, it says call on the Ministers of Indigenous Services to meet directly with Ontario First Nations leadership to discuss, and just to add collaborative solutions to the implementation of this resolution. Those are my friendly amendments.
So I'm not sure the resolution team got all of that. They're right behind you, Chief Hill. If you can, oh, okay, maybe they did. So we're just looking at those proposed amendments. You probably heard that, mover and seconder. Do you want me to read it first, or are you okay with that? It'll be highlighted in yellow. Okay, I'll read it out. I have to read it for the record anyway. So a reminder, after this, we have, looks like 2 more resolutions that were on time. And then we have a number of late resolutions. Late resolutions, my understanding is that in previous assemblies, they were not brought forward, but chiefs felt strongly they wanted to bring resolutions. So it's your assembly, chiefs. This is your assembly. But what those chiefs have to do is bring forward a motion to amend the agenda to include their late resolution. So we would normally need a mover and a seconder. We'd read the resolution, you consider it, and then if it's a yes, we put it on the agenda, and then we deal with the resolution. Sort of makes me have to read it twice, but that's your process. It's your assembly. I think what I might do if we get there is I'll try and shorten it and I'll do it once if you're good with that. But I know that again, I know we're online. Folks back home are listening and everywhere that people are logged in. And we are aware that on the agenda, we were going to deal with resolutions, I think, until yeah, we were going to deal with resolutions until 3:15, I believe, 3:45. But we're also aware that many chiefs have had to make travel arrangements, and especially further north, takes 2 days to get home, sometimes 2.5 into 3 days. And flights have been booked. So we will see if we have quorum. But again, everybody was given advance notice to have your resolutions in by a certain deadline. And those are the priority resolutions to deal with. And we have 2 more. I'm just waiting for the team. We're good? Okay, we're good. Number 1, the chiefs in assembly express concern over the unilateral imposition of restrictive policies outlined in the February 2024 Jordan's Principle Operational Bulletin. This is the addition, and call for prior notification and consultation with First Nations before implementation and request a delay in the rollout of the operational bulletin. Chief Hill, that's what you're asking for? Okay. Mover, are you okay with that? I'll do one at a time, sort of. Okay, stronger language than express concern.
Reject.
So it would now say the chiefs in assembly reject.
Or cheesed off.
I don't know, that kind of sounds soft, eh?
Depends on who's saying it.
Okay, so we've got to reject on the record on the. So on the record, the recommendation is reject.
Marcel Donahue, proxy for Sandpoint Chief Gladue. I would suggest we use the word opposed, so we were unequivocal in our position on the matter.
Opposed? So we're hearing 2 different things, reject, oppose. Mover of the resolution as the mover. Any preference? I think we just wanted a stronger word. I don't know that we want to get hung up on. So I'm just going with what the resolution team has. I know they're looking at it. Okay, I'm going to read it. It says the chiefs in Ontario, the chiefs in assembly rejects the operational bulletin as is. Mover, that was your change. You're okay? Seconder? Seconder? Oh, yeah, I was looking, sorry. Yeah. Okay, next change. Scroll down, please. If we can scroll down. Paragraph 3, to discuss collaborative solutions. Sorry, collaborative solutions to the implementation of this resolution. Was there another change? We can scroll down. That might be it. Okay, that's it. Mover? You're okay? Seconder? That's good. Okay. Any more discussion? I think I heard somebody calling out. Questions being called. Thank you. All in favor of the amended resolution? Raise your hand. Miigwech, opposition? Opposition? None? Abstentions? None online. So resolution is carried by consensus. Miigwech. I'm just going to move along. The next resolution, I believe, is 2513A. We're going to the late ones? Okay. Are we done with 13 and 14? Oh, those are late? Okay.
Late.
2513. I'm just going to get some. So that concludes all of the on-time resolutions. The next one on the list would have been the Federal Program for First Nations Policing, 13A. Chief King, is that what you wanted to?
Mr. Chair, I wasn't sure if it was a on-time resolution or a late resolution. But I've been told it's a late resolution.
Yes.
Okay, I'm willing to, if we're going to stay and deal with them all, I'm willing to put it back on the table. But I'm willing, again, power of the assembly will make that determination. Miigwech.
Okay, Miigwech. So we have dealt with all the on-time resolutions. Reminder, the remainder of the resolutions are late resolutions. The process is a chief has to basically stand up and say, can you consider my late resolution? I read the resolution, then you decide whether you want to look at it. If so, then we do it formally into the record. Chief King is saying if we are going to start looking at late resolutions, he would like his considered as well.
Chief Wilfred King, I'm willing to defer my resolution, but again, if mine's going to be deferred, then everybody's got to be deferred.
So consideration, and I think the recommendation is we've dealt with all of the on-time resolutions. The late resolutions can be dealt with at another time if there is in fact going to be an online assembly or the next assembly whenever it's called. That is, I think what I'm hearing is a recommendation. Is there a Chief Paywis?
If I could humbly request, you spoke earlier about a virtual summer meeting, or someone did. I think maybe ORC gave the nod, said he would put his team together or something like that. So can I suggest that, you know, in the essence of time, we're past 3:15, number of chiefs are dwindling, and I think it looks like maybe if with the indulgence of the assembly, so maybe we could set like a quick summer piece, and then if there's other things that come up, we could add those to the agenda. They'd be on the agenda. We could get through them fairly quickly, maybe less than half the span of the sun going up and coming down. And that would be my recommendation, and ask the assembly if we could defer those to sort of an online session and take care of that. Chimagwich.
Miigwech. So I'm hearing two chiefs that are in support of that. And to be honest, we have dealt with all of the on-time resolutions as part of your process. And so the recommendation is the late resolutions we can deal with. I have been advised there will be an online assembly in August, and we can deal with those at that point. Microphone 3.
I'm okay with deferring a couple of the emergency resolutions, but we have a late resolution that impacts an organization in our area, Madawaska Child and Family Services. They're waiting for designation C from MCCSS, and they are facing funding shortfalls and having to look at laying off staff very soon if we don't get some sort of support. I know ORC has a meeting and we'll bring this up next week, but I was hoping for the indulgence of Chiefs in Assembly to help us move this resolution forward to get regional support for this. Miigwech.
Miigwech, if you can just bear with me, just 2 minutes, less than that. So I was just looking for some background information on the resolution, which we don't have up here. One of the suggestions is if you are looking for support from Chiefs of Ontario, that there can be support indicated, maybe a letter from Ontario Regional Chief to show that support and to show on behalf of Chiefs of Ontario. That's another option. If we're okay doing that we can get I know he is ORC is in the room. I've been advised that that is something that can be done, that we can get support signed off from the ORC, so that can happen. So we're okay with that? Okay, I'm getting a nod. So with that, that concludes all of our on-time resolutions. Any resolutions coming forward will be dealt with in August. So with that, I think that concludes my part. I'm going to hand it over to my colleagues for the remainder of the agenda. And Miigwech, thank you for allowing me to be here with you for the last 3 days. Yeah, Miigwech.
For our closing comments, we have an elder and youth reflection, and I'd like to bring forward Elder Don Jones and Ramon Cataquapit for the youth reflections. I'm not seeing Don present. Dave or anybody else? Pick one amongst yourselves.
Abozok kidawea. Kiwe nagabon in it, there's nakas makwa again, dodam. Shaganashi one again, David. Sami gwech kanage. Give up manan. Ginawa. Gimai. We go game mamika come bidona what game and to all the ones that the technicians for all their work as well. And the ones that are all behind the scenes, even the vendors that were outside. So I say, miigwech, all that, and all the medium. Thanks to Hiawatha itself, the community, for hosting this. And it was really, really nice to be within another community. So I say miigwech to that. And then being asked to do the sunrise ceremonies also. So I was honored to do that also as well. And so I say miigwech to everyone that's here. All you gimak. And the ones in the back here also, I say miigwech to them. Miigwech at Dewagan. Shishwandak, Hinagagego, Kabitonan, Nagin which when it's a mibdango game on Dio. It's quite challenging to the things that we're moving forward, and then hearing certain things about the outside political leaders, their comments, and they're very difficult as well. So it is good work that you are doing, really good work. And sometimes we do have our difficult moments, but it's a matter of going through them. And I was just thinking about that earlier when I had done the pipe ceremony, and that part was about our truth, speaking our truth of when we're sitting here at the table as the chiefs and working through all of this. So I say miigwech to that and to those when I have that moment of doing the pipe ceremony. I'm going to be doing that in the next few more days again. Was asked to go somewhere else, so be smoking some more. So I say miigwech to that. And like I said, like these Eagle staffs, I call them the grandfathers that are leading you as all of us, and that they're here visiting with each other. Same with the pipes, and amongst yourselves as well, visiting to one another. So it's even to hear our youth council, the elders council as well, sitting here. So I say miigwech to everything that's been provided to us. So yes, it was really good work in the ORC for all the challenges he's going through right now. So and supporting him in what he does as well. It's not an easy job for each one of you chiefs to within your own communities, whatever's going on within the communities and those certain requests that is happening as well. Whatever I guess the prices that might go on at times, and so I was just hearing about that, and even honoring those ones that were here before the other chiefs that had things rolling along, moving along, and that he's earned that role now from the other chiefs. So I commend you for all the hard work that you do, and then the long distance traveling that you do to get here as well. So I say miigwech to that. So I'm going to say miigwech mandeo edebenj get maba gajimaneto. Kinagogeo gamin the gonang nagigin with when it's a knock at the wind among kinagogel non mandium ke noten nebi shkote when a gnage chaquam the mong nage non is a madzin gigin with is a widow kadin go again in kigin with miigwech mandeo bamadzawen. Bob, you go kegin wa na suskabi ken dai kegin wa what the benoji okay ajike non. China kwap magoy kegin wa na kwap magoy kegin wa na skabi when in chineta gumbazi kegin wa en dai. When a gnage chinag the when mung mandio en dying kegin with yo. Semi gwetch yo. Mi gwetch la Kabajajik, Neo the Kedake, Kijang, in with Kinagogi, Jamin or the Miguetchkanage, Kijang or Dio Miigwech manda bumadzuan when it's a nagada when the zeong gigin with miigwech manda yo. Ni ganing one is shine. E pitchin gana mid no the square gosh away, but me this Monday o gone stomin ni ganing gana jamin gigin with. Miigwech manda yo. And then the man is a McQueen Manan Pane. You know, ni gaden zik. Ni ganing in the shine gigin with you, miigwech you. So I just thank you all for allowing me to be to come up and speak again. And short notice. But it's always good. It's always good, and as for that, safe travels home for all of you and your children and grandchildren at home. So I say me got you that. Me got you all you chiefs that were here and the ones that already had ventured on already. So thank you again. Miigwech, 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 miigwech. Make sure you put those in the fire. Oh, you can't open it back up. It's already closed.
Ache, Misway, Ramon Katakwapit, Nishnakasan, Adolfskat Doshting, Mixo Totem. Thank you for allowing me to come back up to speak. I understand that everyone in here is tired and they want to go home, especially for those having a conversation in the back while our elder is speaking, but that's okay. And I want to say that thank you for listening to me the last couple of days, especially when I was probably talking your ears off at Parliament. And if you're listening in at the press conference and I was telling off the government, because our youth, we're feeling that fire right now. That seventh fire is burning hot inside of me. And ever since Bill 5 passed, I haven't really had any rest. And this is everything that's been on my mind because I know how important the times are right now. And a lot of that times, that anger that we have, it seeps out to the people around us and the ones we love. And I've been seeing that happen. And right now, I have people that I'm going to go see again after this in Queens Park. They're a combination of all our people from Chiefs of Ontario First Nations, and they're out there right now still protesting while Sol is in that room doing that press conference. And I'm going to see them, and they're dealing with tribulations as well by upholding that sacred fire outside. And I see it everywhere in the youth councils and the leadership, even in this room, those tribulations that we're going through. But we have to remember where it's coming from and not to take it out on each other. And I like to apologize because I started doing that as well by feeling that intense passion and the anger that I have for what's happened to us. And I'm putting it back out almost like a mirror. But the best way I know how to change that is to redirect that anger, that frustration, that sadness into something positive. And that one positive thing I want to do is, if you heard, I spoke about our youth movement, the Okinawak movement, where we want to unite youth from all over Ontario to begin with, our youth councils, our youth reps. And we want to lead this movement for the equity and equality of Indigenous people, First Nations people on this land, and that the government will no longer step on our rights, will no longer create bills to try to erase who we are. And that's something that I'm going to be doing my entire life. And that seventh fire right now, I'm only just begun. I've only been in this world for a year and a half, this political world. But honestly, I want to say that I probably have 20 years of experience within that 1 year. Just imagine tomorrow and the next day. And I'm not just speaking for myself, but our youth, we're carrying that knowledge that you gave us. We're carrying that bundles that you taught us. And we're carrying those teachings and that experience that you guys had We're building further, faster. And I should say you should be proud of yourselves because this is your youth today. This is your youth. This is your youth right now. And we're going to go far, I promise. And I want to say miigwech, and if you would like to support our youth movement, please reach out to Anishinaabe Aski Nation, Oshkataza Council. Please talk to your youth. Please talk to your youth councils if they would like to join the movement. And we'll be growing. And we already have support from multiple organizations, multiple youth councils. And we already have a vision. And sometimes that's all we need. And we need to start this in a good way because I was speaking outside to this reporter and I was telling them how important it is for us to have a foundation that we can build on top of that won't break. Because if our concrete is cracked, if it's uneven, then our building will fall. Our youth will get crushed by this government. And that's something that I don't want to happen. So I'm asking for your support to help us, to guide us with your knowledge and your expertise, so that when we're ready to take off, you know, as a rocket ship has that big metal crane, we don't tip over and go in the wrong direction. Miigwech.
Which, Ramon, for that. And our knowledge keeper elder for the reflections from the last 2 days and 3 days and the work that our youth have been doing going forward. I want to go out to all of you for the last couple of days, including the day we spent in Ottawa, bringing forward our message directly to the government around their actions, around their assault, around their undermining of the jurisdiction and authority that all of you have. I want to say Yawangoa Miigwech for the support. I want to acknowledge all of the work that we have done over the last couple of days. I do want to ask Chief Carr if she could come forward. I do have a gift for her. I want to acknowledge her council, and her community for their hospitality for the last 3 days here in the community. How about a round of applause? Such a beautiful facility we're joining in today in a beautiful community. Don't forget down the road, there are some shops. We may still have the vendors outside, but buy local. Our economies matter as well. And that's part of our messaging. Our economies, our people, and buying local is extremely important. So while we're here in Hiawatha, we'll do a little bit of that if we can.
Miigwech, everyone. Thank you for coming out, and I hope you enjoyed your time here. But also, we have a gift for Regional Chief, and I'd like him to open it here. It was made by our counselor and former chief, Sandra Moore, a very talented artisan. And so the reason I want you to open it here is so everyone can see that, you know, it's in regards to your clan and that protection that you offer and that health that you offer to all our people in Ontario by the job that you do. So miigwech for you. Oh. And we don't have an IGA anymore, so we use the fancy Costco bags as gift bags. We found a Regional Chief's clan and that Sam had made that with, it's called wool painting, and she had made that for us.
We have lots of great staff. I just hope that's not a 50th year mug that I got after I got this beautiful painting, and we're giving her a little mug because of the Chiefs of Ontario office. We have a back room full of schwank, and they're always bringing that stuff out when we're giving gifts away. And no, I'm sure it's something really thoughtful, Chief. It better be, because I'm always propping our great staff up because they make me look really good, and we won't let you down. So as we round out our last couple of days, you know, it's been a lot has happened. A lot's been going on. And I want to express my deepest gratitude and appreciation and go out to each and every one of you for everything that we've done. We've been very clear. I've been very clear on the messaging going forward, the messaging against the government. It's quite clear that, the government has priorities and those priorities don't completely include us, and that's unacceptable. And so we've passed the 2 resolutions around Bill C5 as well as Bill 5, and we'll continue to push hard. You've heard me talk a lot about the sovereignty and jurisdiction of community, and we've heard lots of our discussion today. Our elders talk about identity, talk about our nationhood, and that's really where we need to go. We have to really shift the way we work in our region. We've talked a lot about enough about the national office and how that works. We have to be lead by example, show the strength in our region. We have a lot of great things going on in here in our region. Yes, we have a lot of challenges, a lot of adversity. We do our best that we can. I want to acknowledge our leadership council, our members that sit there as well and support me in the work that we do at the Chiefs of Ontario. And our staff, the staff we've celebrated last night, came together. 50 years, the Chiefs of Ontario as an organization would not have been without the strong leadership like all of you, the strong staff that we have in advancing us. We should be proud of the work that's happening in this region. I can tell you that as the regional chief, although it seems sometimes at the national level that there's some difficulty there, I'm very proud to represent each and every one of you as leadership, but also as our children and everything that's happening in this region. Our leadership council is very strong and they help guide the work. And yes, we do have difficult conversations when sometimes there are things that are not favorable in the room. Sometimes I do make errors and they're very helpful with that and we're very strategic. I implore you to continue to talk about nation building in your communities and how we support that as a region and how we work together. I truly believe in that's how we're going to get to where we need to be. I want to also express that, we've been doing lots of other work. I know that, as community chiefs, things come forward and that kind of starts taking the priority over the other issues, but the other issues don't go away. The other challenges, the other negotiations, the opportunities, they still continue to be there. I can assure you the Chiefs of Ontario, we're doing lots of work to support all the other areas that we have. We're talking about the mining is a big thing. Yes, we have Bill 5. Yes, we have C5 that are pretty critical in that, but also it continues to be reality in community. I know that we don't always have the same position on these things, which is fine. That makes us, that's the uniqueness of our region. And it's my role to continue to support each and every one of you however I can. And yes, we have mandates for the organization, but I want to tell you that I've tried the best of my ability to be very transparent and ensure you know what's going on. You may have seen that I do a monthly report and I'll continue to do that. Continue so that you know what most of the work that I'm doing, there's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes. Every conversation I can't record or every strategy session, I can't put it out there. Please reach out to my office. Please reach out, ask questions. If there's things you think we should be doing better as an organization, if there's things you think I should be doing better, reach out. Please don't hesitate at any time through email, text, social media. I use social media quite a bit for outwards so that I'm being very transparent to you. It's also important that when big decisions are made or things are going to affect you, that you know first. There's nothing more annoying to me when I was a member of my council or a member of, as the Grand Chief, is reading something in the newspaper and then finding out to know what's going on. That is one of the challenges at the national office. I'm not sure what's going on there until I read the press releases and the news statements. I don't like that because as part of strategy and moving forward, you need to be aware of what's going on so that you can provide me with the insight and vice versa. And that same thing for the national office. So we need to think about that and how that works. And so that's some of the work I'm doing at the national office is to say, look, they have to have more strategic sessions. There needs to be dialogue with either the executive or you as chiefs in assembly so that we can continue to advance the national work. So with that, again, I want to say a big shout out to our staff. If I could have a round of applause for our staff been working at the Chiefs of Ontario to put this together. I want to acknowledge all of the sacred items that we have had that kept us very grounded. There's the conversation we've been having has been very constructive and very respectful, and it's because of the songs, the medicines that we have, our Eagle staffs, and each and every one of you for your determination to advance your communities and our regional priorities. So with that, I bid all of you a great afternoon. Please get home safely. We will be dialoguing very soon. We'll continue to keep you updated and advancing all of the positions given to us to make sure that we are heard at the government level, to make sure that the national level, they're very well of the stuff we're doing on, because Ontario region is one of the best regions to be living in, and that's because of you. Yeah, well.
Miigwech, we're going to invite the Akwesasne singers, drummers to come and begin the closing. host drum is going to play the song for the retiring of the Eagle staffs. The retiring of the Eagle staff.